Happy Halloween! It's an exciting time for any kids, young and old, as the night to trick-or-treat. Only a day away, I guess, technically. It's also a time for many parents to stress. Today on Delmarva Live, we're going to help you alleviate some of your anxieties as we're talking about all things safety.
From the #1 injury, the age group most prone to injuries,
Probably not the one you think.
to the #1 dental issue,
Again, who and what's probably going to surprise you.
to an app designed to identify predator locations so you can avoid them, to make certain you're using the right type of light so you can see all that goes bump in the night. We're making you Halloween ready.
We even put the safety tap to the test, and if that's not enough, how about a chance to win $200 in Goose Creek gift cards?
So what are you waiting for? Delmarva Life starts right now. Good afternoon, I'm Lisa Bryant.
I'm Jimmy Hopple. Welcome to Delmarva Live from Historic Studio D. Investigators are, by the way, still looking at what caused yesterday's rocket explosion. Take a look at this. Ed Sealing was flying his single-engine Cessna out of Odenton to watch the launch. He later said, "I'd never seen a rocket launch before, and I still haven't." WBC News at 6 will cover what's happened today.
And of course, we'd like to welcome you to our Halloween safety show.
Now,
Whoa.
I know you might be thinking, Halloween safety, my kid is 18, or I don't have any kids, or what are you going to tell me that I don't already know? Well, did you know this? 41 million people go trick-or-treating every year, ages 5 to 14, at approximately 115 million homes across the country. That's according to the U.S. Census Department. And SafeKids.org reports when it comes to Halloween, nearly 4 in 5 parents express one or more specific concerns. That's 77% of the population, so probably you. Nearly a third are worried about their children getting hit by a car or a truck.
Almost a quarter fear poisoning from tampering or spoiled treats. Abductions is next on the list at 15%. Only about 4% of us really worry about them falling and getting hurt. And only 1 out of 100 worry they might somehow get burned or break a bone.
Okay, so let's start with the one thing causing the most anxiety. Delmarva Life's Sean Stryker is out in the neighborhood looking to trick or treat. So, Sean, some of this comes down to common sense, but some of it's actually surprising.
Yeah, well, Jimmy and Lisa, what's really surprising is some of the statistics surrounding fatalities on Halloween, which is really sad because Halloween's about having fun. As you can see, I'm out dressed up. I'm the Halloween safety guard. You know, I'm ready to go house to house, go trick-or-treating, get some candy. But if I'm not safe, things can take a turn for the worse. In 2012, State Farm participated in a study, and the results are really surprising. Now, take a look at this. 2 times more fatalities happen on Halloween than any other day of the year. 32% of fatalities were between 12 and 15-year-olds. 23% were 5 to 8-year-olds. And now you really want to listen to this one. 70% of accidents occurred away from intersections or crosswalks. Joining me today is Tom Prunty with State Farm Insurance. Now, Tom, you have a couple tips for us. Now, we just heard 2 times the amount of fatalities happen on Halloween. Is that something that surprises you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Considering the celebration, the kids are excited. They're not paying much attention. They're just focused on what they want. So it's very prevalent every year.
There are some things we can do to make sure your child is safe, starting with walking house to house. Now, there's no crosswalk or sidewalk here, but there's some things we should do.
Right. If you're in a neighborhood that doesn't have a sidewalk, then you need to stay to the left, go yard to yard. If you have to be on the road, stay to the left and face traffic, but you should stay on the grass, don't dart in and out of cars. If you have a choice, choose a neighborhood that has a sidewalk. You know, it's a safety precaution. Then you always want to cross at the proper intersections and crosswalks. Look both ways when you cross and be very cautious.
Like we said, 70% of the accidents occur away from crosswalks. Now, costume-wise, there's some things you can do.
Oh, yeah. Well, for instance, your tape there is perfect. You know, the reflective tape and a flashlight makes you very visible.
I picked this reflective tape up. It's only a couple bucks, comes in a package like this. There's red, there's white. It actually adds to my costume, I think. So it's not going to take away from the costume. Fit's another big one when it comes to the actual special costume, right?
I think absolutely, because if they're tripping on their pants or their shoes are too big because it's a costume and they fall at the wrong time, fall between a car out into the street, it could be very serious
I think my costume's too small, but you want to make sure it fits. And then face paint, you want to use face paint, no masks.
Right. Well, face painting is a great idea because masks obstruct your vision, and you could walk out into something and not even know it. So if you can choose between face paint and mask, we'd always ask that you consider the face paint.
This is my face paint. It's not much, but responsibility also rests on drivers.
Oh, I think the drivers have a large part of the responsibility because the children are having a good time and celebrating, so they're not really looking for you. So we need to slow down when we're driving. Between 5 and 9 are the prime hours, and that's when all the fatalities usually happen. So we want to slow down. We want to check all the crosswalks, corners, intersections, make sure we're very slow through there. If we're backing in and out of driveways, go slowly. You know, if there's cars parked, you know, back to back to back, they could be coming in and out between the cars. So be very careful. And if you have a teen driver, set them down and impress upon them the need for caution.
Now, if you're planning on giving out candy on Halloween, if you can see the house behind us is decorated, but they did it right, and there's some things you should do to your house to get it ready for the trick-or-treaters.
Of course, you know, you want the house to be well lit. So, and you want to have your walkways, your steps, your porches free of debris. You want to make sure that your animals, if you have any, are kenneled. And just, you know, common sense things.
It does. It really comes down to common sense. You know, there's going to be kids out there. So be alert, be on the lookout.
We know that it's happening, so we need to do our part to be safe and make sure that they have a good time.
And of course, that's a lot of tips. And if you want to read State Farm's tips on how to have a safe and fun Halloween, you can visit our website, WBOC.com, and click on our picture at the top of the page. Jimmy and Lisa, like I said, I'm the Halloween safety guard today. Hey kids, cross that crosswalk. I'm gonna send it back to you guys.
Keeping kids all over Delmarva safe.
He said Beach Patrol. I thought he was Rodney the lifeguard promotion, so I didn't know.
Well, for many people, Halloween is a time to gather with friends and family, a time to have fun, dress up, and to get lots of treats. Now, notice, Jimmy, I said treats, not tricks.
But that's the thing. Some people prefer the tricks and as a result only find themselves in trouble. So, here today to help us all avoid that is Lieutenant Tim Robinson with the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
Today. What do you see as one of the biggest threats for trick-or-treaters?
Well, one of the biggest ones is when they're out walking through the communities, as it's going to be getting dark when these kids are out trick-or-treating, is a safety on the roadways. Especially many of our communities don't have street lights once you get out of the city limits. And we want to make sure that these children are safe. So
we talked about the little kids. Let's talk about the biggest risk for teens.
Right. The biggest risk for sometimes teens is the desire to go out and have too much fun. When I'm saying too much fun, I'm talking smashing pumpkins or throwing eggs. And I want to if any of them are watching right now and thinking about doing that, we always put extra deputies on patrol, and the other area police departments usually do the same thing, and we're out there to keep our communities clean, keep them safe.
So you still see TPing and eggs?
Yes, unfortunately we do. Not as much of the TPing anymore, but the eggs being thrown and the pumpkins being smashed.
So what about adults?
Adults, one of the things we see for them is sometimes when they like to go to the parties, go to the costume parties, and the alcohol starts to flow, and they get behind the wheel. Again, they have a little bit too much to drink, and they get arrested for DUI. That mug shot, when you get arrested for DUI, when you're in the Darth Vader costume, is going to really be something.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to remind everybody to, really think about, really think about what they're doing when they get behind the wheel. Halloween night is actually one of our big nights for making DUI arrests.
Really?
It ranks right up there with Super Bowl Sunday, New Year's Eve, the night before Thanksgiving, Halloween nights, because all the people are getting together for parties.
So it's pretty much all hands on deck for you guys.
It is, especially this year, Halloween falls on a Friday night. So it's going to have double incentive for people to go out because they don't have to work the next day.
Right. Do you have any safety advice for parents this Halloween?
Yes. Know where your kids are trick-or-treating. Know where your kids are trick-or-treating. Consider going with them if they're little kids, or making sure a chaperone is going. Also, remind them that when they're going up there, there's always safety in numbers. Don't have the children going trick-or-treating by themselves, trick-or-treat in a group, and never, ever go into somebody's house who you don't know. especially by yourself.
Right.
All right,
Makes
Lieutenant
sense.
Robinson, thank you so much. Good advice. And if you would like more Halloween safety information, just go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page. Well, already a lot of great information on how to keep our family safe this Halloween, but we're just getting started. Would you believe that something as simple as a teal-colored pumpkin can go a long way in saving lives? We'll learn more about the meaning behind it and find out why all families are encouraged to start this new tradition.
It's a tradition for many people to adorn their home with ghosts and goblins. But if your decorations require electricity, just a few minor missteps could lead to major problems. We're going to run down the list so you can play it safe with your spooky.
This look is enough to spook someone, but what could be even scarier is the damage that those colored contacts may leave behind. Find out what dangers they pose and who really needs to be concerned.
Well, we all need to be concerned when it comes to the kiddos going door to door. We do not want them to become the target of a predator. We're going to hear one mom's gut-wrenching story and find out how it inspired her to work to keep kids safer.
Plus, see how technology can help keep your kids safe from harm right in their own neighborhood. Delmarva Life, our Halloween safety show. We'll be right back.
Delmarva Life is brought to you by Sussex County Federal Credit Union, guiding you to your financial future. Peninsula Regional Medical Center, honored to serve the entire Delmarva Peninsula since 1897. Your local York and LG dealers, and State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.